mun gode godiya ba za ta kare ba.
Poverty is a dreaded condition, but yet permeates many homes in Nigeria. Walking through the various paths of communities, the struggle of the poor is evident. Oftentimes, they bear the brunt of societal problems, visible in development gaps and lack of capacity to maintain at least basic level of decent life. More than 82 million Nigerians live on less than $1 a day. This is according to a report by the National Bureau of Statistics released in May 2020. The report says 52% of the poor people live in the rural areas, mostly farmers on small scale or fishermen eking out a living. The deep-rooted issue of poverty has for long agitated the mind of concerned organizations and governments. To address this problem of poverty by improving access to services for human development, the Community and Social Development Project was born. It's a World Bank-assisted project in partnership with the federal government of Nigeria. It aims to help state governments overcome the challenge. Bauchi in the northeast is one of the benefiting states. Since 2009 to 2020, over 3 billion naira have been invested by the World Bank to improve the lives of the ordinary citizen in the state. The reality of the impacts visible for many to see. The program is managed by the Community and Social Development Agency established by the state governments, and it's headed by a general manager. The CSDP has intervened in over 200 communities across the 20 local government areas of Bauchi State and have executed projects in 7 different sectors, including education, health, environment, rural electrification, water, transportation, and the socio-economic sector.
Poverty Alleviation Agency, we have to rank all the local government in the state based like a kind of a poverty ranking. And we started with the most poor local government. So we are fighting poverty not by putting money into people's pocket, but providing infrastructure that create conducive environment for fighting poverty in those communities.
This administration has granted approval.
The commitment shown by government through the payment of counterpart funds has brought many of these impactful projects to fruition, causing poor families to have a new lease of life. This program in October 2019 was at the launch of the disbursement of 377 million naira checks as part of the additional financing for multi-sectoral micro projects to 20 communities and 20 vulnerable groups performed by Governor Bala Muhammad shortly after assumption of office.
And for this particular project, with inherited liability of counterpart funding of 100 million, and I'm happy to say that we have already paid that contract.
One of the beneficiaries is the Teshena Blind Group from Akuyam local government area after receiving a check of over 9 million naira. Today, the blind group are proud beneficiaries of this blind center, which holds a lifeline for them and their children. They sew, make pillows and furniture for the local market, and the proceeds for now are reinvested into the center, further increasing the capacity and well-being of the people there. The Center for the Blind, which is one of the vulnerable components of the CSDP project, has an arm in Akuyam Misau local government area. At 52, Muhammad Basiru goes to school. Other blind men his age range are also led to school by their children, who also partake in learning rather than staying idle. Apart from satisfying the literacy thirst of the blind community, the facility provides an economic base for sustenance away from the streets. Revenue is generated from rental services, sale of water to the community, and the wives of the blind acquire knitting skills in a section of the building that houses them.
To a wata wani sa'in alayin kujera kawai sai a samu 15,000 16,000 haka sama dai da haka. Sannan rumfa Allah taimake mu wani sa'in da a samu 8,000 sama da haka, wani sa'in kuma ba za a samu ya karisa haka ba. Shi yasa yanzu na fita na haƙura da bara, yanzu rabona da in fita in kwana a wani gari sai dai a dalilin wannan harka ta makaranta da muka je mu sai muna Bauchi.
The CSDP project is demand-driven. That is, the beneficiaries get to decide their most pressing challenge, and the agency follows a set of criteria for selection of community, association, or group for the project.
And the community are to express their interest in writing. When we pick a community, we send a team of facilitators that will sit down with the community. We have a tool that we administer. We call it PRA, Participatory Rural Appraisal. It's a tool when administered to the community, it will come up with the priorities of the community. We call it the ranking, 1, 2, 3. And for each community or group, they have a budget envelope of 10 million naira. And they are to come up with 2 or 3 micro projects. After identification and prioritizing and ranking of the community needs, then we hold an election, an open ballot system. They elect those that will implement the project on behalf of the community. They open an account, they put their own contribution, we assess the contribution of the community, either in cash or in kind. Then if we are satisfied, they come up with the design, with the bill of quantity, everything, it has to come from the community. We don't implement, we don't award contracts, but rather we train the community and we allow the community to choose those that are going to implement the project on behalf of the community. We call them Project Management Committee, CPMC.
The choice of the kind of projects to be sited in Yayu village in Katagum local government area was driven by a 5-decade painful experience of environmental degradation. Many have lost parts of their buildings to gully erosion. In some cases, homes were lost to the agents of nature. It was a matter of time. All the homes in this surrounding would have been lost, but for this intervention. At some point, Muhammad put up his house for sale, but no one was ready to risk buying it. Today, he maintains the building. Interestingly, Yayu community strikes an uncommon display of prudence in the management of funds among all the interventions.
Muna da kudi naira miliyan 1,700 da dori wanda shine muka dora mita 25 bisa ga mita 80 da gwamnati ta bamu umarni ma'aikatan ta bamu umarni. Sai muka dora da da ta bamu damar cewa lalle in mun yi wannan aiki kudi zai saura, in ya saura kuma sai mu shaurari al'umma mu ga me suke bukata, sai muka ga damuwar da har yanzu akan wannan lambatin ne. To Allah cikin ikon sai muka dora yanzu ko da za a dauko.
Joyous people and smiling faces tells a tale of relief brought to Gangai village. They have been saved from flooding after getting a 402-meter block lines drainage and ring culvert.
Yau da dai ban mu da kwanciyar hankali, amma yanzu hankalin mu a kwance, sai ai ruwa ma ba mu san ma an yi ba. Mun gode, godiya ba za ta kare ba.
From Katagum to Tafawa Balewa local government area, the CSDP continue to impact lives with its life-changing projects. Marti village sits quiet after being reconnected with other communities with the construction of 2 cell additional box culverts on this bridge.
But at least due to the help of the CSDP, they provide at least 2 cells. We at least fixed to the bridge, and at least now we are enjoying the bridge.
It's market day in Nasarawa village, Ganjua local government area, and transportation of goods and people have eased. CSDP has made this possibility a reality.
I would like to thank the executive governor himself and the general manager of the CSDP, because the state government is the first donor of this pond. And
a 1,000-meter block-lined drainage system sits majestic. Relief for the people of Lindsay in Darozo local government area is settled. Before now, they suffered from flash floods for over 2 decades, causing destruction of property. Lives of mostly children were also lost. This man tells us the pains of living through years of neglect. But for now, Saka, he says, has come.
Duk wanda yake bugarin nan bai taba samun aikin da ya amfane shi irin wannan ba. Daga shekara 25 ko 30, 88 kenan da ruwa ya cinye garin nan. Ba samu aikin da aka yi wanda ya amfani mutanen garin nan irin wannan aikin.
The deaf community is intrinsic in this initiative. In Darozo, under the Gender and Vulnerable Group Investment component, the deaf persons get a learning center. Next to it, it's a fully equipped skill acquisition center for persons with challenged limbs.
Alhamdulillah, muna amfana. Sai dai kawai kaɗan daga ginga da zan faɗa. Yanzu haka wannan project ya jawo mana a dalilin haɗa hannun su da suka yi neman mu da suka nuna mana hanyoyin da ya kamata a bi. Yanzu haka a dalilin wannan ƙungiyar ruwa ma ba za a ga da samun anan mutum kamar 1000 wanda suke shan ruwan da aka samu dalilin wannan project.
With a customized sewing machine provided by the CSDP, Usman Bello is able to pin together pieces of fabric. His friends were thrilled by his growing expertise. Women Empowerment Program is an integral part of the CSDP project. Women are encouraged to become self-reliant. More than 50 women and girls develop expertise in knitting, hairdressing, sewing, weaving, pesticides and soap making, among other skills, in Shira Women Education and Skills Acquisition Center. This set of trainees will soon graduate, paving way for others to join. Their instructor, Ummi Abubakar, among other strategies, believes more is being achieved.
Yarinya daga an mata aure bayan kwana shekara an haihu sai ga aure ya mutu. Muka to me dalilin yin haka? Sai maga abin da ya kawo haka rashin sana'a ne. In dai aka ce akwai sana'a to ba a samu wannan matsala ba. Sai muka ce muna bukata bude mana women center. Sai aka bude mana women center.
This drainage system is also part of the CSDP's intervention in Shira. The CSDP project is dear to the heart of the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad.
Well, we inherited this project from the previous administration, and we found that it is a very good World Bank assisted project, which is a community-based project to improve the quality of life at the rural level. And it was based on a template established by the World Bank, and we are approving projects and programs that are going to improve the quality of life of the people in terms of exploiting their capabilities to do things as a community project, either in the areas of agriculture or SMEs and so on and so forth, so that they can raise their GDP and exploit their potentials, and by so doing, putting them on the path of economic growth and viability. In my village, CSDP has been able to come to the to really capture the needs and aspiration of the people by providing a snake-related hospital.
Turning around the economy of Tadum village in Ogoro local government area is key for the people. This is why they chose to have stalls for business. The CSDP's intervention had contributed in springing up of over 200 small-scale businesses since it started. In the palace of the district head of Gamawa, the Kakaki blessed through the building, and the Serki reclines majestic on his throne, but well informed about the impacts of CSDP project on his people.
Two major intervention in health sector. That's construction of maternities and houses for the staff quarters. The communities that these two projects were started, they are very far away from the, what do you call it, general hospital. So the impact is immeasurable because it's something that the people are agitating for the past 10, 15 years.
People. From the renovation of a library complex driven by the literate level of the people in the community to the several water scheme projects in Angwandole and Garko, the impact is visible as excited children are lined up round the water pump to fetch water for domestic use. Key indicator studies of the CSDP reveals that average time fetching water reduced from 46 minutes to 11 minutes after intervention, and the number of reported cases of waterborne diseases has been reduced by 90%. An instance is this well, used as the only source of water supply in remote rural community of Kesela, Damban local government area. Now, the people enjoy potable drinking water from the solar power borehole. From water projects to rural electrification, Kubogana in Ita's local government area has been saved from blackouts, thus boosting their local businesses. Moving on to Warji local government area, the rehabilitated 2.3 kilometers of rural road provides easy access to the people of Kadalambu and Balma to other communities.
Kafin mu shiga garin nan ko a caba ne daga kan hanya zuwa nan ba za a dauko ka ba an damuna ta yi damuna sai dai ka tako a kafa daga Baima zuwa garin nan daga kan hanya kwalta kenan to amma da Allah ya kaddara da taimako wannan sai da wannan gwamnati Allah ya kaddara aka mana hanyar yanzu sai dai addu'a muke dai kawai Allah ya kare tunda gudun da ake yi a shigo garin nan ba matsala.
The Commissioner of Budget and Economic Planning, Bauchi State, Dr. Aminu Gamawa, sheds light on the impacts of the project on rural life.
It's a project that is directed at addressing problems that affect the ordinary men and women. And the focus of the project is mainly towards the people who are disadvantaged, who are marginalized, particularly people in the rural areas. We are not duplicating projects. You will go to some places, you will see 2 schools close by. No, what we are doing is that we go to communities where there is no school and provide school there. We go to communities where there is no hospital and we provide hospital there.
Healthcare delivery for all by the year 2023 is one of the sustainable development goals, and the CSDP has stepped in to realize that goal. This facility was once a dispensary that has received an upgrade to a fully equipped clinic with a staff quarters and a hand pump borehole. The ever-busy facility in Zalanga, Ganjwa local government area clearly depicts how important the facility is to the people, posing a challenge of an overstretched facility.
In a month, usually you have to see about 300 to 500 people in this clinic, both together maternity section and this section.
Before the establishment of the clinic, we have small dispensary in the village. So it's not enough. It was not enough for the patient, because we get many catchment areas and a lot of patients came. So there is no ward, no maternity, no whatsoever, only dispensary. So that's why we requested for this project, and it actually works very well.
The healthcare facilities built in this local government area is a sharp contrast from the old building which stands beside it. And in Wanka, Kirfi local government area, the primary healthcare center was built in addition to a laboratory, maternity center, staff quarters, and solar borehole, which also serves the community. There is also a fully equipped health clinic in Ningi, as made possible by the CSDP initiative. Some of the interventions of the CSDP is captured in the education sector. UNICEF estimates that over 13 million children are out of school in Nigeria, and Bauchi alone accounts for over 1 million of this figure. Worried about the number of school dropouts and the girl child education, CSDA community opted for this junior secondary school for girls, furnished with wash facilities. However, the school is in need of library complex.
The school came about when the CSDA community people try to, see that they have the needs for the girl child education because we don't have senior secondary school for girls in this our town. So normally when they finish the JSS classes, they have to go to boarding schools outside this town. Some in Misa local government, some in Darazo local government, some outside within their own community. So, in this our locality, some parents do not feel comfortable to allow their own children to go for boarding school. While others, they don't have the means to sponsor them to go and do school. But then the people of this community says that if they have the school in this town, many children, many parents will allow their own children to come and learn because they will have it. They will be very contented when the students will come and go back and sleep with them at home.
Citing the school in her community has ignited the love for education in Ummi, a 16-year-old girl who has never been in a classroom before.
Ban sha'awa ni ma saboda ƴan uwana idan naga sun shiryo za su fita ni ma suna burge ni. Saboda sun sha wanka su tafi makaranta ni ma kuma bana makaranta. Idan suka yi wani magana ma saboda su ƴan makaranta ni ma in ga kamar in ɓaci bakin su yi magana.
Bauchi plays host to thousands of internally displaced persons. Most of the IDP children are out of school. They have not been left out of the project. Under its IDP's components, these children now have access to education. 3 classrooms have been built for them in the school in Katagum, Zaki local government area, with an office, store, toilet, tree planting, in addition to the provision of customized school uniforms and learning materials. The intervention in education has increased the number of enrollments of school-aged children by as much as 4,000. These are just some of the interventions of the World Bank-assisted project, and sustainability readily comes to mind.
For every project that a community demands, you have to give us a sustainability plan. Example, a community says they want a motorized borehole. Where do we get the money for fueling? So definitely it has to come up with a sustainability plan. If it is okay, some they collect user fee, some they collect money from well-to-do individuals within the community. So they have to have a kind of a plan to sustain the micro project, because we don't want at the end of the day you build something that the community cannot even sustain it over a long period of time.
But to ensure that there is community ownership, we ask the community to also contribute either in cash or in kind, either 10% or 5% of the project. That way, they will feel like this is their own project, they own it, and they will ensure that the project is successful.
The impact of the project has left the people yearning for more, but that's one of the challenges of the CSDP project: high demand and not enough resources to go around. Likewise, the agency sometimes experiences snags from beneficiaries who find it difficult to raise their own share of the funds for the project.
We must continue with this project the way Plateau is continuing, or come up with a project that will take over from where this project is leaving off. Because there must be continuity, there must be sustainability. But because this is a World Bank project, we cherish the goodwill, we cherish the capacity and the human capital and the resources they are giving us. Because everything is about managing scarce resources and prioritization. We are going to prioritize. We are already talking to the World Bank officials to come and christen any project similar to this, so that we can continue with this and then really live up to the aspirations of the people in the rural areas, because they are very...
With the myriads of projects for a decade period, and as the program winds down, more seems to beacon as a post-COVID-19 recovery program is about to be launched by the World Bank, with the government backing it.